In this video, I'm going to show you how to texture models using UDIM workflow. So for this tutorial, I'm going to use Blender for making UV unwrapping and UV tiling, and then go to the Substance Painter to texture the model. And today, we are going to texture this guitar. Before going into the video, let me tell you what you will learn from this tutorial. You will learn how to follow UDIM workflow, you will learn how to texture in Substance Painter, and you will also learn how to make your own textures in Substance Painter. And before going into all this, you should know how to UV unwrap a model. You don't need to be professional in that, you just need to know some basics like marking seams and unwrapping, that's it. With that, you are good to go. Now, let's start with the video. Here, now let's go to UV editing tab. I already unwrapped this part. Keep it aside, come out to edit mode. Now, add a new image. Here I have a 4K resolution. If you want to change resolution, change your resolution as you wish. If you didn't change anything before, first it will be blank here. Change this to UV grid. Now, check tiled. Create a new image. You will get this 4K resolution image. Now you should unwrap every part of your model one by one. For suppose I already unwrapped this. Let's take a look at this. Here, these vertices are touching to this edge of this tile. That should not happen. If that is happening, Substance Painter will throw you back error, and the model will not load to the Substance Painter. To avoid that, select this UV unwrap, scale in a bit, so that this will not touch to the edge of this tile. In a similar fashion, go to another piece. For suppose, let me select this one. I'll go into it, go to edit mode. Here I'll make some simple seams quickly. I just marked some simple seams and I'll UV unwrap it. Smart UV project, that's it. I'm not going to do complex UV unwrapping and make complex seams because it's not that complex model. Now these are UV unwrap of this model. Now select these both, this model and this model which you already unwrapped, and click tab to go to end-to-end mode. These are overlapping. Again, this also should not happen. In Substance Painter, two things should not happen if you want to follow UDIM workflow. The first thing is, the edges of the UV unwrap should not touch to edges of the UV tile, and the UV wraps should not overlap like this. To avoid this one, you need to create a new UV tile. For that, come into here. If this one is closed, click N. The box will toggle on. Click on plus here. Now, change the blank to UV grid and click OK. After doing that, extended tile will come like this. Now what you will do is, select this model, keep your cursor on this model and click L. This will select, then this will be selected. Move your UV seams over here. And also here, this should not touch to these edges, so scale this up in, and this is good. And also one more thing, these UV seams should not also go into this another tile. For suppose these UV seams are in this tile, this should not cross this tile. That means you should not place your UV seams like this. If you keep like this also, Substance Painter will throw an error, it is not acceptable, and it will not load the model. So let's keep it like this. Now for our next unwrapping, let's click this, go into edit mode. Let's make some simple seams. Mark seams and select all. Smart UV project. This is a bit weird because my scale is not properly applied. Come back, apply scale, and this should be good. Go back and again use Smart UV project. Now this is correct. Go back, select everything, this knob, this guitar, this one. Go to edit mode. Again, these are overlapping. To avoid that, select this part, keep your cursor on that part, click L, and scale this down. As I have space here, and this is also a small model, so I'll just drag it here and place it like this. That's it. Similarly, you should unwrap all the models you have and place them like this. Once you have no space in these tiles, do the same thing. Click plus here, UV grid, and click OK, and your grids will keep increasing. Do this process till your unwrapping is done, and make sure that no UV seams are overlapping. They are not crossing one tile to another tile like this. One tile to another should not be crossed, and these edges should not touch this UV tile edges. That's it. Hope you understood. Let me speed up this process and meet once I complete this process.
A few moments later.
Finally my unwrapping is done. Now come back to object mode, select your model, export to, before doing that, go to shading, select any part of your model, make sure to add a material and name it. After doing that, go to layout, now select everything, go to export, export as a view. After exporting, open Substance Painter and let's meet there. Now here in Substance Painter, let's import our model. Go to new, select our VX file. I'll make it as 4K. Make sure that you have selected use UV tile workflow and select this option and click OK. Now without any errors, our model is imported. Now after importing, first things first, come to here, change the output size to 4K. Select this option which says use low poly mesh as high poly mesh and change this nonce to 4x or 16x depending on your PC. I'll use 16x. And come to ID, here change material color to polygroup and use shift to random. In ambient collision, increase secondary rays, and here self collision, change always to only same mesh name. Same thing here, increase secondary rays always to this one, and thickness, increase secondary rays, self collision to this one. That's it. Now hit bake, wait till the bake is completed. Now our baking is done. Let's go back here and first let's delete this layer. Now if you apply any material randomly, it will apply to the whole object like this. If you want to select different models, different pieces, you don't want to a material to apply to a whole object, what you should do is first create a folder and select on this box here, and near UV tiles, instead of UV tiles, go to mesh names. Here you can select separate pieces separately. So for suppose if you want to select this one, click here. Now you can see this unchecked. Now if you want only these two be selected, click Alt, hold Alt and click on this box. Now only this is selected. Now to come out of this, select on this folder here. Now if you want to add any material to this, drag this into this folder. Now the material will only add to this part. Similarly, if you want this to be selected, create a new folder, select this box, go to mesh names and select whatever things you want, and then drop the material in these folders. In UDIMs, that's how this process works. And today, for this tutorial, I'm not going to use pre-made materials from Substance Painter website or here. I'll show you how to make your own wood materials. Based on that, you can make any materials using that method. So let's get started. Now first, let's delete this layer. First I want to make wood material for this. For that, let's go into this folder, create a new fill layer, and here add a new base color which is related to your wood color. I'll add this color as a base color, and again I don't want this color to be this whole part. I want this color to be only this front side. So add a mask for this whole folder, add a black mask. Now go into here, select this one. If you want to know more about this masking and all these basics of Substance Painter, I explained everything in my previous video. If you don't know all these basics, go check out that video and come back to this video if you want. Now let's move on to making textures. Now we masked this. Now let's add another fill layer here. Add a black mask on this new layer. To this black mask, add a fill paint layer. Now come to here. Here search for grunge. Search for this grunge map 002. Drag and drop this here. Now this is slant. I don't want this to be slant. I want this grunge map to be straight. So adjust the rotation and tiling a bit. After that, what you need to do is go back to the paint layer. Here change the base color to as you wish. Now what I'll do is I'll make the base color a bit darker like this. For now that is enough. Now again in this I don't need all these settings. All I need is color. So I'll disable height, roughness, material and all this. Now duplicate this layer. Ctrl D for duplicate and change the color a bit. Change the color a bit and go back to this grunge map here. Here you can play with some balance and contrast to make a difference. While you're doing that, also change some offset a bit. I think this is okay. And also in guitars, mostly when you're seeing them, they will be smooth and glossy. For that, come into base layer. Here, decrease the roughness to 0.01. After doing that, your light will be shining off this surface. Now this is done. More adjustments can be done for this. For now, to make it simple, I'm just keeping it like this. You understand the basics, right? To make your own textures, add a base layer. For this base layer, on top of base layer, add these grunge maps. If not grunge maps, these pictures, images on this, and stack on top of those. These are basics on how to make your textures. Now moving on to the next part, we'll make this back side of this guitar. Now let's duplicate this folder, and here let's change this. Before changing anything, select this mask, go to polyfill, and select these back parts also. Select everything for now and go back to painting. For now, all we need to do is change the colors a bit. What I mean by that is, go to this base layer. Instead of this, bring this down, and I can go back to this second layer. Change the color. Go back to third layer. Also change the color. It is applying everywhere, right? I can go back to this mask. Go to polyfill. Change this slider to black and select this. Now our mask is properly done. Come back to painting, and now you can see there are color variation, and most guitars look like this. So this looks good. Now you can apply this same material over here also. For that, all you need to do is duplicate this folder again, select this. Now in place of this part, select this part, and that's it. You have applied this texture over here also. Similarly, you can apply textures like that. These are how you make custom textures and make your UDIM workflow. If you want me to show you how to make custom textures in more detail, write some comment in comment section saying so. I'll make sure to make a video on that. Now after repeating the same process many times, I ended up with this. I completed the texture in this guitar. Now let's export this and go back to Blender. I'll show you the export settings now. Go to File, Export Textures. Choose your output directory wherever you want. 16-bit, 4K, this is your wish. And come to Output Templates. Here select Blender Principal BSDF and export your textures. After that, come back to Blender and come to Shading tab where you made new material before going to Substance Painter. Click on Principal BSDF, hit Ctrl-Shift-T and go to your file where you have exported the texture and select all. Select all these files, no need to segregate or anything. Add to Principal Textures. After that, what you should do is change the single image to UDIM tiles. Do this to all of them. Now your texture will be correctly placed. For those which textures are not applied, you should do the same thing. Go to this object. Don't make new material, just add a previous material which you have made. By adding the same material to all of these pieces, we have completed the full texture without just by making one material. And that's it. Now I need to make some small changes to the model and we will be done. By making some small changes to this guitar, I think this is done. Now all there is left is to place this guitar in a nice lookable scene and it will be done. Thanks for watching.